Thank you very much for affording me this opportunity to take part in the discussion of the thanks motion to the presidential address to the joint session of the parliament. Sir, the presidential speech is as per Article 87 of the Constitution, by which at the commencement of the every session of every calendar year, first session of every calendar year, the president has to address joint session of the houses, for which Kaul and Shakhtar has stated that this is the statement of policy of the government. The presidential speech, by virtue of Article 87 of the Constitution, means it is the statement of policy of the government and also the review of the performance of the government during the last year or the previous year, and also the policies which are going to be pursued or implemented in the coming financial year or in the coming calendar year. This is the very sole purpose of the presidential speech by virtue of Article 87 of the Constitution of India. But it is quite disappointing, deeply disappointing to say that this presidential speech consisting of 82 paragraphs there is nothing policy statement which are to be pursued in the coming calendar year. No new policy or program initiatives on the part of Government of India to be implemented in the next year. So it is deeply disappointing. All the 82 paragraphs, if you go through, only the so-called achievements of the government during the last 8 years, and that achievement, the so-called achievements, are contrary to the facts and also ground reality, contrary to the ground reality. Sir, the presidential address is totally silent. Why it is deeply disappointing means it is totally silent about the explosive issue of the unemployment. I need not reiterate the seriousness and the grave concern regarding the unemployment which is prevailing in our country. Even the Economic Survey of India is very specific that the unemployment is one of the major concern of the Indian economy which we are facing. But unfortunately, there is no made mention in the presidential address regarding the explosive issue of unemployment. And number two, the external aggression by the neighboring countries affecting the territorial sovereignty of India. Nothing is mentioned in the presidential address. Even the invasion or the attack on the borders by the Chinese military, even in Ladakh and Doklam and all these places. But nothing is mentioned regarding the attack on the part of the neighboring states, and that is also that is adversely affecting the sovereignty of our country, and also the threat to the secular fabric of our country. Nothing is mentioned, and also the growing intolerance. There is no mention of the growing intolerance prevailing in our country. That is why I am saying that it is deeply disappointing, the speech. Further, the speech does not address the marginalized sections of the society who were affected due to the coronavirus COVID-19. Sir, para 15 of the speech, it says that, I quote, "Nobody will remain in hungry during the corona pandemic period," unquote. Sir, free ration. The Honorable President is speaking about the free ration. Sir, the next day, Madam Nirmala Sitharaman ji has announced the budget in this August House, by which the food subsidy has been taken away. 5,41,330 crores of rupees was earmarked for food subsidy in the year 1920 and 2021. That has been cut down to 2,06,831 crores of rupees. So the speech of the Honorable President and the budget speech by the Finance Minister is contradictory, is not in correlation with the presidential announcement made in the joint session of the House. Sir, NDA government under the leadership of Honorable Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi ji is completing 8 years in office. Sir, what is the constitutional as well as the social status of the country? Yesterday, Honorable Rahul ji has spoken about a theory of union of states and nationhood and kingdom. The theory of nationhood and the theory of kingdom, as well as the theory of union of states. I fully support the observations made by Sri Rahul Gandhi yesterday. He made it a valid point regarding the centralization of power. Sir, he was elucidating the centralization of the power, and also all these 8 years, if you examine, the democratic fabric and the secular fabric of the country is under threat. The beauty of Indian democracy is being destroyed because what is the beauty of Indian democracy? The beauty of Indian democracy is unity among diversity. That unity among diversity is being destroyed during all these 7.5 years. That is why it is being said that union of state, it is not a kingdom. It is not an Indian kingdom, but it is union of states. We have to respect the state, and we have to respect the states as well as they should be taken into confidence in order to have a federal fabric of our constitution. Sir, in the name of narrow nationalism, you are branding all the people who oppose your programs and policies as anti-national or disloyal. If you criticize the government, if you criticize the Prime Minister, then you will be branded as anti-national or you will be branded as disloyal. Sir, Mark Twain has rightly said, I quote Mark Twain, sir, loyal to the country always. Loyal to the country always, loyal to the government when it deserves it.
Excuse me, just a minute. Honorable members, it is 9 o'clock. I have got long list of speakers to speak on the motion of thanks on the presidential address. If the House agrees, the time for the discussion may be extended by 1 hour. Thank you. Now you can.
Thank you very much. Once again, I would like to quote Mark Twain, that is, sir, quote, loyal to the country always, loyal to the government when it deserves it, unquote. Sir, what does it mean? What is loyal to the country implies? Sir, taking pride in one's country, culture and its values, adherence and upholding the constitutional values such as liberty, fraternity, equality, secularism, etc. And also helping our fellow people in the time of external aggression, disaster like tsunami, earthquake and pandemic. That is what is meant by loyal to the country. Sir, what is the loyalty to the government? Loyalty to the government means it is allegiance to the political and ideological values which are in power. It also means unconditional faith in government. It gives unquestioned power and authority to the government. That is what has happened in India during the last 8 years. Sir, in order to have a good governance and development of the country, the government has to be made accountable to the people of the country, for which its decisions and actions should be transparent. That transparency is missing in the functioning of the government to ensure the responsibility in lieu of the power it yields. Here the power is being yielded. Instead of having the transparency in administration, power is being yielded. Therefore, in a democracy, we all must criticize our government when it does not fulfill its promises and perform for the upliftment of the poor people. But this government, unfortunately, had no tolerance to digest the dissent and criticism. Dissent and criticism are considered as anti-national and disloyal to the country. This is quite unfortunate. Sir, I would like to cite an example. One Malayalam TV channel by name Media One, it has been banned. The telecast is banned only because of the reason, national security reason. National security is the reason by which so many people are being languished in jail, and the preliminary liberty and civil rights are being taken away in the name of this, sir, I'm concluding, national security, and the ban has to be lifted or the security reason has to be lifted. That is a point which I would like to make. Sir, one nation, one tax, one nation, one language, one nation, one election, one nation, one registration. Sir, how this is possible in a country having multi-diversity and also pluralistic society like India, how it is possible? How the ethnical, geographical, cultural relation between Northeastern India and, sir, I will conclude with 1 minute with India. So please understand the feelings of the people, different various cultures of our country. Language have to be respected. All the state must be respected. Otherwise, the situation will be very dangerous. So, sir, I would like to urge upon the government, the presidential address, when we are thanking to the motion on the presidential address, I would like to caution the government, the basic features or the foundations of our constitution. That is, first one is secular democracy and federal character. It is under threat. Sir, Union of India shall not be allowed to become an Indian kingdom.
Thank you very much.
With these words, I conclude.
Thank you very much. Thank you.